Now that we are having basic overview of NoSQL databases and MongoDB, we are good to look at difference between RDBMS and MongoDB. So we can understand from this picture that RDBMS will have database server, and then on the database servers we will be having our databases running, and in databases we will be having our tables, and tables will be containing rows, and every table in relational database management system will be having fixed schema. So first we decide on the schema. Schema means first we decide how many columns that table is going to have and what kind of data we are going to store in the table. So first we decide on the table structure, that is schema, and then we store data in that table. And since we are using many tables to store data, sometimes when we need a related information about those data, we need to perform complex joins. We need to write complex joins on those tables to get the required result. And in RDBMS, joins are very expensive. Now let's have a look on the MongoDB. MongoDB will also have the database server, same as RDBMS. On the database servers, we'll be having our databases running. But here, instead of tables, we will be having collections. So in RDBMS, we will be having tables, but in MongoDB, we will be having collections instead of tables. And instead of rows, we will be having documents. So instead of tables, we will have collections, and instead of rows, in MongoDB, we will be having documents. And since in MongoDB, we are using collections, we do not need any predefined schema. We don't decide what kind of data our collection is going to have. On the go, we will be storing data in the collections. So we don't decide what kind of data is going to be in the collections. So MongoDB supports dynamic schema. And since we are using documents to store data, and sometimes we store data as a embedded documents, as a arrays, so we will be keeping data together in MongoDB in form of documents, and that's the reason when we need some information about data, we will be quickly getting that without writing any joins. So in MongoDB, we need not to write any complex joins, and that's the reason MongoDB is very quick and fast compared to relational database management systems. One more difference between RDBMS and MongoDB is relational database management system can store only structured data, and they can store data up to some limit, but MongoDB can store structured data, MongoDB can store unstructured data, MongoDB can store semi-structured data, and MongoDB can store huge amount of data. So there is no problem with the size of data. MongoDB can store any number of data. So these are the basic differences between the RDBMS and MongoDB.